Chief Executive John Lee names Justice David Lok to chair the independent commission to investigate the Wang Fuk Court blaze. National Security Police make first ever arrest for unlawful drilling, seizing guns and suspected explosives. And a 6.9 magnitude earthquake shocks northern Japan following a strong tremor that hit the area days ago. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Chu. Regarding the deadly Taipo fire, Chief Executive John Lee has named the chairperson and members of the independent committee. The head of the Electoral Affairs Commission, David Lok, will lead the panel with sweeping powers and 9 months to complete a report. The committee will be chaired by David Lok, who is also the judge of the Court of First Instance. Its members will include Legislative Councillor Chan King-po and MTR Corporation Chairman Rex Ao-yeon. The committee has been tasked with 3 main objectives: to examine the cause of the Wang Fuk Court fire, assess whether fire safety installations complied with regulations, and review the adequacy of the estate's works supervision system. It will also investigate whether large-scale building maintenance projects across Hong Kong involve any improper interests, bid rigging, or corruption, and will review existing laws and regulations. The city chief stressed authorities would go to great lengths in probing the deadly fire, saying anyone found responsible, whether they are government officials or not, would be held accountable. Lee added that he has given the committee flexibility to streamline procedures and apply judicial powers normally granted to an inquiry commission in specific areas.
When the independent committee wants to exercise statutory powers, they will be given according to the law and the procedure.
In a separate briefing, Lok said in leading the investigation in his capacity as a judge, he would conduct a fair, impartial, and rational analysis, making findings and recommendations based firmly on the facts.
9 months is a very challenging time frame. We can only assure the public that we will try our very best to complete our job, which is very important for the better future of Hong Kong.
The Housing Department has begun removing burnt scaffolding from the external walls of 3 blocks at Wang Fuk Court in Taipo, 16 days after the deadly blaze. Heavy machinery, including excavators, were operated on site, with workers preparing for removal. Personnel from the Disaster Victim Identification Unit continue their search and evidence collection inside the blocks. In coordination with the police, the Housing Department will prioritize the removal of burnt scaffolding from Wang Chang House, Wang Tai House, and Wang San House. Meanwhile, the Housing Bureau's independent checking unit will strengthen work in some severely damaged units, including concrete grouting and erecting temporary props. National Security Police have cited the unlawful drilling provision under the Safeguarding National Security Ordinance for the first time, arresting 9 men on suspicion of conducting military training and possessing offensive weapons. All 9 are currently in custody pending further investigations. Evelyn Bai reports.
Officers arrested 6 men at an industrial building in Sanpo Kong last night, seizing air guns, air pistols, counterfeit short knives, combat sports equipment, and suspected explosives. The unit was highly concealed, with windows covered by black plastic bags. The police cited one suspect saying that he wanted to learn skills such as firearms handling, combat, and short knife use to attack those who obstruct them when violent riots come back in the city. We are very concerned about fighting explosives, Chief Superintendent Steve Lee of the National Security Department said. Although it was deemed as low-performance gunpowder, it does not mean it is not lethal. 3 men were later apprehended in Tuen Mun and Yau Ma Tei, all 9 arrestees aged between 20 and 25. Lee added that 2 suspects were seen at the Wang Fuk Court fire in Taipo and were wearing black shirts. Their purpose at the site is under investigation. Upon receiving a tip-off from the public, the police started the probe last year. The department is investigating how the alleged weapons and explosives would have been used and whether others are involved in the illegal drilling, and is assessing any threat to Hong Kong. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
The national security trial of media tycoon Jimmy Lai, who is accused of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces, is scheduled for a ruling next Monday. Next Digital founder Lai, along with 3 Apple Daily-related companies, are charged with conspiracy to collude with foreign forces and publishing seditious publications, among other offenses. According to the judiciary's website, the case is scheduled for a verdict next Monday at 10 a.m. The case, tried by national security law designated judges Esther To, Susana Maria Dalmada Remedios, and Alex Lee, commenced in December 2 years ago and concluded closing arguments this past August. Public health care fees in Hong Kong are set to change from next month, with a $10,000 annual cap on personal expenses. Patients have to apply through HOYIBC app, and any overpayments will be carried over to the following year. Evelyn Bai has more.
Key changes include a rise in accident and emergency fees from $180 to $400. Specialist outpatient charges will be unified at $250 per visit, while general and family medicine outpatient services will merge into a single service costing $150. For medication charges, drugs prescribed at specialist clinics will cost $20 per item per 4-week supply. Medications from the newly merged family medicine clinics, previously free at general outpatient clinics, would now cost $5 per item per 4-week supply. The new annual cap of $10,000 applies to all patients without economic assessment through HOYIBC app, hospital payment counters, or self-service kiosks. The application period runs from January 1st to March 31st each year, with processing taking roughly 2 weeks. Any overpayments before approval will be credited toward medical expenses in the subsequent year and counted toward the cumulative total for that year, if the patients do not have any outstanding fees. Mary Yong, Chief Manager of Treasury Insurance and Revenue Management at a hospital authority, stated the policy is designed to provide a safety net for those with certain severe or chronic illnesses. The system ensures the funds are used for the patient's own health care, she said, adding that special cases, such as a patient's death, will be handled by hospitals to arrange refunds to families. The authorities say the revised drug fees will help optimize resources and allow for an expansion of the formulary. They expect the number of new medicines assessed annually to increase from about 90 to around 120. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
A 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck off northern Japan, triggering a tsunami advisory that was later lifted. The quake came just days after a 7.5 magnitude tremor rattled the same region, injuring at least 50 people. Cheryl Yun has the story.
In Hachinohe, Aomori, hanging signs in the Asahi Broadcasting Office swayed violently at the moment the quake hit. The 6.9 magnitude quake occurred at 11:44 a.m. local time off Aomori's Pacific coast at a depth of 17 kilometers, followed by several aftershocks. In Hokkaido and much of the Tohoku region, tremors reached an intensity of 4 on Japan's 7-point seismic scale. The Japan Meteorological Agency warned of tsunami waves up to 1 meter along the northern Pacific coast, affecting Aomori, Iwate, Miyagi, and Hokkaido prefectures. Waves measured 20 centimeters were later recorded in Aomori and Hokkaido prefectures. The earlier 7.5 magnitude quake struck late Monday, injuring at least 50 people, prompting the agency to warn of elevated risks that a megaquake, an earthquake of magnitude 8 or higher, could hit in the following week through December 16th. The risk of such a powerful quake in the region remains unchanged after the latest tremor, the agency said. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
In a 40-minute phone talks, Japanese and U.S. defense chiefs shared serious concerns over a recent radar confrontation between Chinese and Japanese aircrafts. Evelyn Bai reports.
The phone call between Japanese Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi and U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth focused on recent Chinese military activity and broader regional security. On December 6th, Chinese fighter jets locked radar on Japan Air's Self-Defense Force aircraft over international waters of Okinawa Prefecture. Both defense chiefs said they will continue to diligently carry out patrols and surveillance around the country. The two sides also voiced serious concerns about any actions that heighten tensions in the region, expressing that China's actions do not contribute to peace and stability in the region, the Japanese ministry said in a statement. The U.S. Department of War said the leaders discussed China's military activities, Japan's plans to increase defense spending and strengthen its capabilities, as well as the importance of realistic training and exercises across Japan, including in the Southwest Islands. The two ministers reaffirmed their commitment to work urgently to enhance the deterrence and response capabilities of the Japan-U.S. alliance. The diplomatic row between Beijing and Tokyo sparked by comments from Japan's Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi last month that her country could take military action in case of an attack on Taiwan. A script prepared by the cabinet members for Takaichi showed that the country leader veered off script from official policy regarding the queries related to Taiwan, according to opposition lawmaker Kiyomi Sugimoto. Sugimoto said the remark reflected Takaichi's personal view rather than prepared content. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
The U.S. government exerted more pressure on Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro, expanding sanctions and issuing fresh threats to strike land targets, as Maduro accused Washington of ushering in a new era of piracy in the Caribbean. Anna Chen shares more.
Following the seizure of a dark fleet tanker named the Skipper off the coast of Venezuela, the U.S. has imposed fresh sanctions on 6 more ships said to be carrying Venezuelan oil and the shipping companies linked to them. In addition, the U.S. Treasury imposed curbs on 3 nephews of Maduro's wife, Celia Flores. 2 of the nephews were previously convicted of drug trafficking charges in the U.S. before being released in a prisoner swap. Maduro on Thursday slammed the Trump administration.
Criminal e ilegal.
They kidnapped the crew, stole the ship, and have ushered in a new era, the era of criminal naval piracy in the Caribbean, he said. The Venezuelan government filed a formal complaint with the International Maritime Organization denouncing the U.S. seizure, as the White House said the U.S. intended to seize the oil. In his latest comment, U.S. President Donald Trump repeated his threat to soon begin strikes on suspected narcotics shipments making their way via land from Venezuela to the U.S. Amid tensions between the two countries, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado revealed that the U.S. government support helped her travel to accept her Nobel Peace Prize in Norway. She reportedly slipped through military checkpoints wearing a wig as a disguise, then took a private jet to Norway. She committed to returning home soon, whether or not Maduro is still in power. Anna Chen, Cable News.
In Thailand, King Maha Vajiralongkorn has approved the dissolution of the House of Representatives, with an election expected as early as next month.
Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul stated on social media that he is returning power to the people, adding that the dissolution would not affect Thailand's ongoing border conflict with Cambodia. According to local media, the dissolution comes after the government and the largest opposition party, the pro-Anutin People's Party, failed to agree on a constitutional amendment bill. The People's Party was reportedly planning to initiate a no-confidence motion. A government spokesperson cited the legislative deadlock as the reason for seeking the dissolution. By law, an election must now be held within 45 to 60 days.
Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 446 points. Top active stocks of the day: Alibaba was up $3.50. Tencent was up $14.50. Ping An was up $2.25, and HSBC Holdings was up $3.30. Onto the weather now. Becoming cloudy, temperatures will be about 20 degrees tomorrow morning. The maximum temperature will be around 22 degrees during the day. Winds will become northerlies with 1 or 2 rain patches later tomorrow. Temperatures will fall appreciably to about 16 degrees at midnight. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Chu. Thanks for watching. Good night.